This violates every canon of respectable broadcasting.
How are you?
Hey, who wants to help me get this recorder out of here? I need some muscle over here.
You're listening to Blame Your Brother.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome back to another episode of Blame Your Brother, episode 69. Oh boy. All right, so somebody is bleeding through, but we'll get through that. All right, there we go.
John's pointing fingers at me, but
I wasn't at you.
All right.
Was it a speaker?
We're back, guys. Yay.
Yay.
All right, how you guys doing?
thank God that we could get past that episode name.
Yeah, 69.
No,
all right, so we're back. And
Wait, what episode is it?
69.
Okay.
Yeah, no guests today. It's just the three amigos coming at you. So we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves. I am 1/3. I am David, a.k.a. D. Brew, voice of the people, Mr. 40%, the spiritual midget, Glenn Jackson, Nick Nickum, so many more. I'm joined this week by the new father, my actual brother. His name is Lee.
A.K.A. the real Nick Nickum, the true voice of the Blame Your Brother podcast, and, of course, LeBron's safety pin, all at the same time.
There we go. We're also joined by our longtime friend, you know him, is John. What's up, John?
Hey, everybody. John here, a.k.a. Tico, a.k.a. Mr. Groupon, Mr. PTI, the Madman.
The Madman, you
the
say?
Madman.
Oh, no. All right.
Why do they call me?
whatever.
I don't know why they call me Madman. They call me
The Madman.
the
They got
Madman.
John Tortorella, a madman.
Wow.
Okay, he's a madman.
69 is messing us up. All right. So,
yeah.
so this is Blame Your Brother, and go make sure every Thursday you come check us out at youtube.com/Blame Your Brother. You can watch us talk, listen, and engage with us in the chat room. A lot of people show up. It's fun, so we encourage you to do so. And if you missed the live stream, you can always check us out, podcast format, every Friday morning. Go to bybpod.com, and we'll get you all those cool ways to get it at the end of the show. So we'll go ahead and get started. So we'll start off with Lee. Oh, we didn't start off. The legal team is back. They apparently took a break last week, but they are back. And we got to ask Lee, first off, is there anything you said last week, since you missed the last two before that, is there anything you said last week you need to apologize for, any retractions or omissions?
No, I did not say anything last week.
Okay. All right. John, anything you need to say, apologize for, blah, blah, blah.
I think I'm clear.
You think you're in the clear?
Yeah.
Just for the record, I did say one thing, and that was about locking a door. What is wrong with locking a door? Honestly,
Well,
I guess
here's
it depends on what your intentions are after that door is locked, and whether that involves your zipper.
I get Matt Lauer as a sexual predator.
Right.
That's bad. But then people are like, he locked his door. It's like, okay, like.
Well, I think it was the manner. It was the tone and the context of when you said it was okay to lock a door. You said it right after this story of Matt Lauer. You're like, oh, it's cool, man.
I mean,
it's the way you said it. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with locking your door.
Christmas is coming up, and I thought about buying my wife like a door lock that you could activate with your smartphone, right?
Okay.
But now I'm like doubting myself. I'm like, what is that? She's going to think I'm a sexual predator now?
The Me Too movement is strong. We'll get to that in just a minute. I mean, it was very strong.
Well,
this week.
if I offended anyone by saying that I like to lock doors, too bad.
There you go. Did not apologize. I
still like to lock doors.
Well,
in case anyone's wondering.
There you go. He still likes to lock doors, guys. We do want to give a big thanks to Elizabeth Donaldson for coming on last week.
Woo-woo.
Very great guest. Very fun show. It was well received by the internet and the public and everybody that listens to the show. It was viewed a lot. So if you're coming here from that episode, stick around. We'll have a good time. And we're gonna have some more guests down the road. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We're getting some good guest books. So we'll see how that continues. But you come for us, stay for us, all that good stuff. So we want to, once again, thank her. It was awesome for coming out to the studio and doing the show. So, all right. So, Lee, how's your week been going this past week?
Honestly, I'm still like, I thought I was on house arrest before, but evidently I violated probation.
Yeah.
And I'm just in the slammer now.
The
life is just, it's no longer mine, It's just like.
Has the chain been shortened?
Yeah. It's like, there's no chain. Like, you're just like, it's like a metal bar. You're just, Yeah.
Lee speaking of first time listening, he just had your baby is how old now?
What is
2
it,
weeks?
4 weeks?
4 weeks?
Something
Okay,
like
yeah,
that.
that's true. That's
I
right.
think someone was asking the name. The name is Ada Lynn.
Yes, Michael
Ada
Anthony Nicholas wanted to know what the name was. So Ada.
7 pounds.
So where does Ada Lynn come from?
7 ounces.
Ada Lynn. Where does that name come from?
Lynn is a family name on both sides. Me and my wife's family. Both.
Okay.
So that just made sense, and we just like the name Ada.
Where'd you get it from? Never really.
Where did we get her from?
Where did we get the name from?
I don't know.
I mean, you find it in a
The
book?
American Disability Act. You tell me.
Well, there you go. A book, a TV show, or you just what? I mean,
you know how it is when you're trying to come up with a name. You just look at all the names.
were there any other contenders we should know about?
Didn't you say like Madeline was up there?
I mean, there was a whole bunch
Yeah.
that made the short list. I didn't really get to pick it per se. I only had veto power. You
Okay.
know?
Well,
You know how that goes.
that's how. Yeah, I know exactly how that
So-
goes. So, I think every guy knows how that goes. You know. So everything's good though. The kid's doing good
Doing
and
good.
growing and crying and
Crying,
waking
eating,
up.
pooping,
Yeah.
the usual.
That's how it
usual
goes.
suspects.
Well, good. I think everybody's glad the baby's healthy and you're doing good and you're under house arrest. So nothing happened for you really this week.
Well, I mean, she did learn to play violin, which was surprising.
Oh,
but
there you go.
not everyone is like ahead of the curve like my family will be. So
Okay. Well, sure. All right. Anyway, put that on YouTube, please.
Yeah.
John,
There's shovels for Lee for Christmas.
how was John's? How was your past week, John? How was it?
Not bad, not bad. I had to take my loaner CPAP machine back.
Oh yeah. So we
Yeah.
haven't talked about this.
the
So
loner.
so you went and had a sleep test done in a hospital, and they gave you a what's it called now?
CPAP.
CPAP.
It's a machine that it increases the pressure of air going into your body when you breathe in,
Right.
and so that apparently I have a sleep apnea, and so that was there to correct it, and
What did it?
it helped a little bit, yeah.
Okay, so tell me about a loaner. Are you getting a full one, like a full time one, or what's the
Yeah,
deal?
I'm gonna get that one was just to see if it really made a difference.
Yeah.
And apparently there was a lot more blockages when I had it for the past 2 weeks than I did for that one night test that I did. So the doctor said, yeah, it's probably a good idea if I
So
went ahead and get one.
what's it like sleeping with that thing? I mean, is it very
It's not
weird?
fun at all.
Yeah, is it like a mask? It just
There's
goes.
two types you can get. There's a kind that has just a hose and it kind of plugs into your nose, and then there's like the whole mask that looks
Right.
like you almost look like a fighter pilot.
Okay, which
How
one?
do you feel about hose?
On episode 69.
On
how do you
69,
feel
how do I
about
feel about
those?
those?
Which one did you have?
I had the mask. I kind of regretted it. I think I'm gonna go with the hose when I get my own
Okay.
machine.
So just weird. I mean,
I prefer hose too.
There you go. Episode 69. All right. So you got that. Anything else going on? Catching movie? Have you seen Justice League
I
yet?
still have not seen Justice
Uh-huh.
League. I'm kind of scared to from a lot of the backlash I've heard from people I trust when it comes to movies.
Well, I saw it. I saw it the weekend it came out, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. I mean, for all the shortcomings of plot of any superhero movie, I mean, pick a superhero movie. I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun romp. I mean, I don't know what people... Are people starting to expect too much out of these superhero movies? Like, are they going to change the world or something? I mean, that... You know, it's a superhero movie. It's dudes in capes flying around fighting other aliens and stuff.
I think the problem that a lot of people have is when someone has proven that you can accomplish something...
Yeah.
And then somebody else comes behind them and they can't do it. It's like an open forum for them to mock them utterly.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem with DC. I think if some of these DC movies came out before this Marvel shared universe came out, that people would be a lot more friendly with it.
Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I guess part of the problem with it was you had two different directors, essentially.
I also heard that there's a lot of limitations that was put on the filmmakers.
Yeah.
One thing I heard that they were pretty much forced to keep the movie under 2 hours.
Yeah.
That way there could be more showings in the theaters.
Honestly, DC has always been a
It's
cut rate universe compared to Marvel.
Always.
I think you have DC people and you have Marvel people. Dave is kind of like a DC person. I'm a Marvel guy.
How is David? Because it's just David's cut rate.
No, it's just
Yeah, no, I think anyone that prefers DC over Marvel, you can say that they're like cut rate, right?
I'm a cut rate. Hashtag cut rate. Here's where I say DC can pass Marvel if they're allowed to go there. DC has much better villains. Way better villains than Marvel does.
I would agree with that.
I mean, my God,
Well, Marvel, it's almost limited to animal villains.
Yeah, so
What? Marvel is limited to animal villains?
Oh, yeah.
go ahead. Like who?
Dr. Octopus. I mean, just Spider-Man's villains
Magneto?
alone.
Yeah, all of Spider-Man's villains are pretty much animals. I mean, that is
Not
true.
really. They're like hybrid.
Okay, but who's the big Avenger villain? I mean, that's the question.
Thanos?
Yeah, that's lame, man. I mean, that's
How is
Darkseid
Thanos?
2.0. I mean,
How
he's
is Thanos?
Darkseid.
He is definitely a ripoff of
He's
Darkseid.
Darkseid, man.
How? What do you-
Because he's a cosmic guy that's
Because
super
no one can
powerful.
really tell you what his power is.
So, okay.
What's his superpower?
Thanos?
Yeah.
Strength.
So
Strength.
what? So okay,
That's it.
that's fine. I'm willing to admit that DC has better, but
Right.
you
but
got to
they-
name some. If you're going to name Marvel,
DC? Joker, Lex Luthor, any Batman. I mean, the Riddler, Two-Face.
so it's not necessarily
No.
Okay, so here's the thing: it's not cut rate. It's just like there's good and there's evil in the world, and DC is
Yeah, they're
evil
very,
people,
They're very black and white.
and Marvel
yes.
is the
More
paladins.
Shades of gray, I would say, is what Marvel is. I mean, because
No,
look at
no,
look
no.
at Loki. Loki's good. Loki's bad. Loki's good. Loki's bad.
Well, that's just Loki from the mythology. But if
who-
we talk about
No, in the
drawing
movies.
a line, you said Marvel has no bad guys.
No good bad
Right.
guys. Like Ultron. I mean, come on, man. That's like your great
It's because
villain.
they're focused on the good guys, right? But,
Yeah, I would say
but see,
that.
DC can't have good guys because they're focused on the bad guys.
Who's the best superhero ever? If you had to just pick one, there's no right or wrong. Just who would you say is the greatest if one came to mind?
Oh, I would defer to the experts on this, obviously.
Who's
This
your
this
favorite?
But this is like John's this has got to be John's ultimate
I'm not going to
question.
answer what most people would answer, though.
What would you say? Batman, right?
I'd say Spider-Man.
Okay. See, so already I say Batman. He says Spider-Man. So who do you think?
I mean, I guess I have to pick someone with a man name, right?
Apparently Superman, yeah, Aquaman, yeah.
I
There's a
kind of
couple
like
of choices.
I always liked Iron Man.
Iron Man, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, Iron Man. The benefit that Marvel got is they had some cool actors playing their superheroes, like Ben Affleck. I mean,
What? I mean, they couldn't
is what
hire
it-
cool actors?
no, because Marvel's got them all. I mean,
That's not true.
that are willing to play superheroes. Oh yes, my friend. Come on, let's
So
say
there's only like
Well,
five people willing to
on the
play
one
superheroes?
side. I mean, they brought Robert Downey Jr. out of obscurity because
Yeah.
he was nowhere for a long.
but he's the
time.
best.
He
like,
has a storied
he
actor. Have you
is-
not seen Tropic Thunder?
That came out after first Iron Man movie.
Did it?
Yes, it did.
oh,
Wow.
uh-oh.
I don't even remember the first
Chaplin.
Iron Man.
Anyway,
Chaplin.
but I mean,
Chaplin's a good movie.
It
but anyway.
is. But I mean,
But yes,
how long ago was
I
that?
get what you're saying. Yes.
He was on the back burner for a really long time, and Iron Man rejuvenated.
But that's what I'm
his
saying,
career.
like, that's-
Chris Pratt.
I think it's stupid to
Who's just
say
for
they have
TV.
all the cool actors though, because like a cool movie makes an actor. Like if you're gonna say
I'm agreeing with you
right,
on that.
so that's what I'm saying. That's an invalid point, David.
But Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. He's like the best Iron Man you could ever
He's-
get.
Yeah, he is
Like,
Tony Stark.
But they
Nobody
could have
can-
found someone else that could play Iron Man.
But would it have been as great?
well, I mean,
No
we'll
way.
never know now, like,
Right.
because
Well,
we see him.
We will. It'll get rebooted. Watch. But anyway, we'll find out eventually one day. But I thought Justice League. I mean, I'd be curious. You see it. I think you watch it. We should have a discussion about it. I don't want to, give anything away, but I enjoyed it. So I did go see Justice League. I've already bought my tickets to go see Star Wars the weekend it comes out. So I'm very
When
excited.
is that released?
Next weekend.
15th, I think.
Yeah, 15th. So I got tickets for that Saturday. I'm taking the boys. I'm very excited to go see Star Wars. Expectations are high, so sometimes that's not good.
No.
Sometimes, like JLA,
All
I
right,
had
we'll
low
make-
expectations, so I'm like, that's a pretty good movie.
All right, well, let's make your
predictions.
call your shot.
for Star Wars.
Yeah.
I don't really
No,
like to
call
go
your
around.
shot.
And
You
make,
said you have high expectations.
how do I think it's going? I think it's going to be fantastic.
Okay,
I think
so
it's
that's
gonna
your
be great.
shot
Yeah.
right there. I'm on the other end of it. I've seen the previews and it's got Kylo Ren. He's still whining. Like after the preview came out, I thought they were going to go back and recut the trailer and
Yeah.
make him where he's not so whiny. Nope, I watched it recently. It's the same trailer.
Well, he's
Still
in it-
whining.
He's in it for 30 seconds.
Still
Come on.
whining. Still whining. So
Come
That's
on.
a Star Wars go-to though. The back.
the whiny bad guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Darth Vader was a whiny little.
What did Darth Vader whine about ever?
Oh, he was
the whole prequel.
He was a secondhand bitch to the Emperor. He was.
When did he
I like-
ever whine?
Kevin
though?
Smith said it best. He goes, "You think Darth Vader's awesome, and you find out he's an Emperor's bitch. He does whatever he tells him to do. Go get me some smokes,
Kinda
Darth
true.
Vader." And he's like, "All right, I'll go get it." He was never that badass in the. I mean, we all think he was because we were like 5 years old. But
Okay,
what did
but-
he really do that was awesome? I
But
mean,
see, that's the difference between Kylo Ren. Is like we don't even get that facade of badassery. We just get a whiny emo kid.
well, Luke Skywalker was an emo kid. You don't think he was a big whiner? He's the biggest whiner that ever been in cinema, dude. Come on,
Uncle Ewan.
Are you watching Star Wars because of Luke Skywalker?
I would say he is the main antagonist or hero. Sorry.
Okay, so why did you
Protagonist.
watch Star Wars then? Like, what was the
Well,
reason?
Han Solo was my favorite.
Okay,
guy.
so what does that have to do with whiny emo Luke Skywalker?
I'm just saying that's the Skywalker brand. Obviously he's got the blood of Skywalker in him, so he's kind of a punk. I mean, just kind of what it is.
I mean, I guess that's true.
I
Wait,
mean-
no, I thought that was Han Solo's child.
And Leia.
And Leia's the
Skywalker.
Skywalker.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I see.
Yeah,
My
so-
bad, my bad.
I mean, the entire Star Wars trilogy is really just about the Skywalkers. It's like a drama about the Skywalker family is all it is. I mean, so
Yeah.
the question becomes, is most people are asking, who is Rey? Like, that's going to be the big question. Who is she? Who are her parents? What's the story? Why does she have the Force? A lot of people think she's going to turn bad in this movie. She's going to go to the dark side. I don't know. Or maybe Luke is. Somebody is.
I think it's more of like she's going to try to seek balance in the universe by destroying midi-chlorians everywhere.
Really? So the Last Jedi, literally, she's going to kill Luke. Oh, that would be dope if she killed Luke at the end, dude. Oh,
That would be kinda
would
cool.
be kind of
So
awesome.
do you think Luke's going to have another...
He'll be in.
He's going to have a lightsaber battle, though?
Well, he said in the trailers appear that he is like a pacifist now. Like he doesn't want to teach. He doesn't want to fight. I'm getting out of here, man. There's too much power going on here, man. He's whiny. He's whiny in this film. I mean, come on, man. You have one job. Train the freaking Jedi in front of you and stop. You know what's the new people called? They're not called what the jeez.
Sith.
No,
The First Order.
Yeah, First Order. Is that their new name?
Yeah.
Okay. The First Order, these guys are trying to like take over again. Get your butt up and go fight. That's what you're here on this planet for, obviously. You're letting down every Jedi in front of you. And there's no other Jedis in this whole...
For the second time.
I do got problems with this. There's no other Jedis in this whole world except for what? Luke and potentially Rey. That's it.
No, that's not true.
Where's another Jedi at?
Well, I mean, like, okay, so what about the monk? Would you say he was like
Force
Jedi-esque?
sensitive, yes.
But he was doing some pretty Jedi-like
But that's
things.
not in... That's in
Rogue One.
That's in Rogue
Right.
One.
He
No.
did.
He's
gone.
dead.
He's dead,
Well,
but-
spoiler alert. Hey, everybody in Rogue One died. But no, I'm saying
it's not that far removed.
in The Force Awakens, there's literally one Jedi, and there's like obviously a couple of Sith running or potential Siths running around.
Well, look at A New Hope. There was only 2 Jedi at the beginning of the movie.
yeah, because
And Yoda was off on the planet, so he doesn't count.
well, that was 3 then.
Because, I mean, the beginning of New Hope.
Well, Kylo Ren is
Okay.
a Sith Lord. Isn't that like kind of Jedi-esque?
No, that's the opposite of a Jedi.
Right, but doesn't that count?
I
kinda?
think Kylo Ren is going to turn to the Jedi side. That's my prediction.
I think they're going to... I mean, they've pretty much done away with the term Sith. I think they're trying to do away with the term Jedi and make it a new alignment. I think that's where they're going with
this
it.
is lame. If this
Because in the... on one of the trailers, there was an Italian trailer, and...
Italian trailer. This is
Okay.
breaking news on Blame
Hold
Your
on.
Brother. Go, here we
and
go.
instead, it says The Last Jedi, and in other languages, the word "the" is pluralized, just like the word it follows, and it
I
was
think you're
lost.
If you're going to the Italian
It was
translation.
it was the plural of "the," which means that there's the Last Jedis, pretty much, because Jedi is one of those words that it could be plural or it could be singular.
So was Italian the like?
I'm just saying that was the one I saw. It had nothing to do with it was somebody else was talking about
anyway,
it.
enough with this silly talk.
All right. So
Star
enough of
Wars.
Star. I mean, it's not silly talk. It's going to be. I know you hate Star Wars, Lee. You talked about it. You hate.
No, I love Star Wars.
What is it?
I love it.
What
but
does
I
he
feel like-
hate? What's it called? May the
Fourth be with you.
You know, the more you
Oh.
say it out loud, the more I might be inclined to believe what you're saying. Maybe
the
I do.
fourth I mean, how do you not say that with a lisp? May the 4th be with you.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I agree. It's
like, where's your neck beard? What happened to your beret?
Hey, man, it's not, whatever. I'm looking forward to it, guys.
Fedora, whatever.
I mean, it's basically taking us back to our childhood. It's a form of nostalgia I can actually embrace. So
I just feel like with each movie that's released, it becomes worse. And it's eventually going to end up like a Dawson Creek's episode. That's all.
Yeah, and
it
is a soap opera. I told you, it's the Skywalker soap opera. So
I mean,
Lee hates everything.
Isn't it billed as a space opera?
Yeah, of course.
Well, there you go.
From the chat, Lee hates everything. There we go. All right. Well, that's it. So let's get into the news, man. We got some.
I think we can just end the episode there.
There we go. We're done, guys. Go check us out. BYB Pod. No. Okay, let's get into the time. So Time every year, if you didn't know, if you've been living under a rock for the last 20 years, Time has its Person of the Year every year, and so the theory this year was that it was going to be Donald Trump, because why not? I mean, we've talked about Donald Trump almost like every episode. To me, the Person of the Year is something that has been discussed for an entire year period. And Donald Trump has
good
been,
or bad.
Yeah, good or bad. It's been other. I mean, I think Hitler was it one year.
What?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's the person that influences discussion.
Thank God Trump didn't make it then.
He was a runner-up. So the Person of the Year, and this I'm going to get into this, but the Silence Breakers is the 2017 Time Person of the Year. Now you start looking at all these silence breakers and you're starting to notice a little theme here. A lot of these are celebrities, which include Ashley Judd, Rose McGowan, Terry Crews, Taylor Swift. And I just think if you really wanted to make it the true silence breakers, why don't you make it non-celebrity people instead of getting these, like the story starts off, it's all about Ashley Judd, how she was the first person to speak out against this, and she's saying, I tried to tell everyone that this guy Harvey Weinstein was a bad man. I just think this is
that how that came out?
It's in the article right there.
I didn't read it.
Very self-serving. I mean, look at the cover. Look who's on the cover as we're watching in the video. It's Ashley Judd, Taylor Swift.
But I mean, that makes for a good cover. Like, who wouldn't put these people on the cover of a magazine?
I mean, put
Well,
some,
I mean, didn't Alyssa Milano start the Me Too movement?
yes, she did.
So why isn't she on there?
I don't know why she's not on it, but
I think there's someone that we're missing here too. Wait, no,
it's a hand. So
it's an anonymous person. That's what it was.
Okay.
Because they didn't reveal themselves.
Well, a lot of them should be anonymous. Now, here's what I say: is this a very, this is groundbreaking news? This has been a groundbreaking year for this movement. Of course, I'm not going to sit here and act like it hasn't been.
I wish you would.
This is a big story. I wish I could, but what it is to me is it's Trump has moved the needle for this movement to happen. I mean,
very true.
So to me, it still comes back to Trump at the beginning.
You just want Trump to be on the cover of Time.
How can he not be the Time Person of the Year?
Because
I think the reason why he isn't is because of that blow up earlier this year about him being on the cover of Time.
And he also,
we should put him under a rock, and he should be like that guy from Harry Potter.
Voldemort?
You can't say his name.
Well,
okay, you should not be able to say that. That word should be taken out of the dictionary.
So you shouldn't be able to say Trump?
No, that should be removed.
The elected president of America, as elected by the people,
as elected by the Russians. Sure.
I mean that's hearsay.
That's fine.
It's hearsay.
But
he's moved Twitter needle. He's everything, And I just don't feel the Me Too movement is as big as Trump. That's I feel we're in the PC era right now, where it had to be these ladies stepping forward. And I'm not sitting here and acting like some of these women did not have a hard time stepping forward.
And Terry Crews.
These ladies and Terry Crews, who was grabbed in his manhood by this guy. And I feel sorry for some of these. I mean, I feel sorry for all of them if they were, sexually assaulted. As they say they were, it's bad, But Megyn Kelly on there, come on, what's going on here?
She was assaulted by Trump.
No, she was not. What are you talking? That is the fakest news I've ever heard in my life.
So why is Megyn Kelly on there?
I don't know. I'd read the article. I don't know why she was in there. I was a little bit confused. I guess maybe some sexual harassment going on at Fox. I don't know. But
I think that's what it was.
Hashtag Me Too is the big movement here, and that movement got the one and only. The Mr. Holier Than Thou who walked around acting like, I'm here to make sure Trump's evil ways don't rule the world. Mr. Al Franken today resigned from Senate because why? Because he was one of the people out here sexually assaulting and harassing these women.
Who?
Al Franken.
So you think Al Franken should be stricken from Senate?
No, he is. He stepped down today.
He resigned today. But you don't think Donald Trump, who is on tape,
I didn't say
admitting sexual assault, should be removed?
John, did I
or
say
should resign?
Did I say I think he should be resigned?
Why are you? What is your point with Al Franken? Please tell me.
Well, it's breaking. It just happened today.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
The
But
first
what are you
person,
trying to
it's
say?
the first. It's the first politician to step down on his own accord.
Yeah. So what are you trying
Famous
to say?
one.
What are you trying to say though? Make your point.
If you think Donald Trump's going to step down, you're not. There was photographic proof that Al Franken had done these things, man. Like.
Right. Yeah. I saw
Several of these women came forward after it. So
no, not several.
I keep coming to this point.
One.
No, it's 6 or 7 now. Read
Really?
the article. Yes, it's many.
Al Franken?
Yes, they're all coming
I think
forward.
that's why
yes.
he finally like,
Yeah.
oh, there's more coming out of the
And
woodwork.
his apology
Every day.
His apology
I didn't know
was
that. I didn't hear that.
Okay, his apology is ridiculous. He goes, "Well, some of these stories are not true, and some of them, maybe
Some of them are.
He didn't even say that. He goes, maybe. I didn't think they were, but maybe they were. I just feel that's the biggest
Well,
cop
his
out.
apology to me is like, women respect me, is what I heard. If you listen to his, I listened
Because he's good enough and he's smart enough and
Doggone
doggone
it,
it, people like him.
I mean, I just
No, I'm saying I listened to his resignation speech at the Senate, and his literally started out with like, "I have built my career on the respect of women." That's what he said. He didn't mention anything about women coming out of the woodwork.
Huh.
I mean, who
well,
would?
They
Who
have.
would?
6 or 7. Or,
I just thought it was the one, but I guess if you do one,
if you do one, you probably done many.
I think things like that, it's kind of like roaches. If you see one roach, there's like thousands of them.
I think so too.
And one person comes out and says, you did something.
These are the women that are coming forward.
Yeah.
I mean, some probably are like, "Nah, I'm good. I don't want to be in the news or anything." So
why? Okay, so getting back to time, Man of the Year.
Man of the Year.
Silence.
It's actually Person of the Year.
Person
it's
of the
not
year.
Man of
Sorry.
the Year.
Well, women are have the word man.
Why,
in it
Lee?
too.
Why would you say Man of the Year?
Because you can't have woman without man.
You said it. So Person of the Year.
That came from
That
Lee.
came from Lee. Said Man of the Year, not me. Maybe
I'm
we
just
should-
blown away that you have a problem with this.
No, I don't have a problem with
It
it.
sounded like you wanted Trump to be man.
Well,
of
I
the
think-
year.
My
Person of
problem
the
is
year.
it's person, singular. It should be one
Well,
person.
it's been
Well,
multi-
remember when they put the mirror on
Yeah.
the cover and it's like the person of the year is you.
Yeah, that was like 2 years ago. It's you and you and you.
I guess then
get a
Trump
time
was
person of the year. You get a time
then Trump
person.
was person of the year.
There you go. We were too. So who knew?
So there you go.
I'm gonna frame that and put it on my wall and go, "I made it, people." My kids one day they'll be like, "Dad," I go, "I was once Tom's Person of the Year, baby."
But for real, just to get to this issue,
Okay,
if we
yes,
could,
for real,
the
let's get
underlying
serious.
issue.
On episode 69, go ahead.
This is like really impactful, actually, right now.
Yeah, it
This
really is.
woman's movement.
I know,
is
it's-
very impactful.
I see a
it's
lot.
changing.
Women and Terry Crews.
I've seen a lot of just a lot of hatred toward men
I
over
know,
the last
yes.
couple weeks and months.
It's because the thing is, it's like it's like men. What the argument is that women have always been victimized, and men have always been unable to take responsibility for it, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Which is what some of what they're saying, and now they're saying that it needs to shift, and men need to take 100% of all responsibility for all sexual assault. How do you feel about
Well,
that?
I mean, if
How do you feel about it?
sexually assaulted someone, yeah, you've got to shoulder 100% of the blame. I mean,
But as a man,
As-
do
oh-
you think you should shoulder any responsibility for sexual assault that you have not committed?
It's not his responsibility, so I say no.
I can see the point. I don't say I agree with it, but I can see the point of of us perpetuating, as they say, the rape culture,
Right.
and certain male stereotypes. But I think sometimes stereotypes exist for a reason, because there is a concentrated number of people that live up to that expectation.
Okay,
I mean,
that's fair. That's
you
fair.
know, and unfortunately, like everything else, it's usually 1 or 2% of the population of anybody that ruins it for everyone else.
So I have a question. If I were to put stereotypes of you based on your skin color, your nationality, your religion, would that be okay?
No, it's not okay, but it's done every day. And I feel the white male in today's society is now paying for the sins of every white male before. And there were some pretty despicable white men
So
in
is
this
that
country.
okay? That's fair, but is that
Sometimes it's not right, but sometimes it's needed to balance out.
Like reparations, white male reparations.
Yeah, white male reparations. I mean, the chickens are coming home to roost against us. But here's what there was a story that came out this week that you don't have the story for, but there was the police were having a meeting about the transgendered community and how they would interact with transgendered people, and they were giving them guidelines and how you should approach them and things like that. And the woman teaching it was a female captain. And if I had to guess, I would say she was not straight, but whatever the point is. But anyways, she gave out a stat that said, transgender people are 3.25% more likely to be victims of domestic assault. And an officer raised a hand. He goes, I don't know if that stat's true or not. He's like, can we kind of talk about that? And the female captain said, no, you'll never understand because of your white male privilege. And the whole class lost their minds because it was probably mostly male whites. Well, it came out now that woman got suspended for her statement generalizing all male white privilege together. So I was driving with my buddy to lunch the other day, and I told him the story, and I go, we're back, baby. We're back. we're back on top again.
We're back on top again.
one our way, baby. We're going to keep going to the top. Now, I just think, but seriously, it's just a problem when all of us pointing fingers at each other, saying
exactly.
You're a white male, you're evil, you're devil. And I see a lot of people on Twitter going, white people suck, they're the worst people ever. And I'm just like, man, this is not good.
Here's the thing. No one is more for gender equality than I am. Okay, let me just say that.
I don't know if that's
no
true,
one could be
ahead.
more for gender equality than I am. Maybe someone is equal. I would hope there would be a lot of people that are equally as it.
Okay.
But if you argue from a standpoint of sexism,
mm-hmm.
then the very thing that you're trying to solve by leveraging sexism makes your argument completely invalid. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? Let's have gender equality. Let's be equal. Let's do whatever it takes to make it a non-factor, right?
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. But
We
need to have real discussions that we talked before. We need to have real conversations with each other, and that's just the way it is.
So I heard a couple of points today on the radio, 3 salient points someone made to do it. And one was legislate an equal number of women on executive level panels. So if you have a corporation, on the board, there has to be an equal number of men and women. Legislate it by law. Sounded weird to me. And then another one was
affirmative action for sex.
Yeah. And another one, which I thought was actually more poignant, was having equality in paternity leave so that women aren't forced to be the sole take care of women or children in the household so that they can get out and, do more things that men have opportunity to do now. What do you thoughts on that?
I would have gladly stayed home for a year with my children. I did take off for 2 months, and my wife did with the children, and I took care of the children as much as she did. So yes, I can see your point there. I feel a lot of women I talk to though do want to stay home with a baby. Once they have the child, and you know a woman,
it's not like they want to bounce.
A lot of them don't want to go back to work. They want to stay. I think there is for most people, and I'm not saying 100%, but there's an overwhelming majority of women that do have that paternal nature in them that sometimes a lot of guys don't have. I mean,
and I think that needs to, I think differences in sex and gender need to be understood.
Right, yeah.
We can't just, like you said earlier, with when you're talking about stereotyping, typical male behavior, that has to be examined more closely, right?
Yeah, 100%. I agree. So I don't know.
A lot of that just comes down to, everybody has their talents. Everybody's good at something,
and men are good at building and hunting and
locking doors and unzipping pants.
Yeah, there we go. No,
I'm just saying that if you're genetically ingrained to be able to do something, you don't fight that. Go ahead and just do it.
So what do you think would be if there was a silver bullet? As ridiculous as it might sound, even outside the realm of possibility, is there a silver bullet for this issue?
No.
There's nothing.
I mean, you would just have to castrate every person
how is that
on the face. Well, you just said anything would fix it.
Castrate every man? That would be like genocide.
Well, no, you idealistically, what would happen if I could design the world as God, people would not be able to reproduce or engage in sex until they passed certain tests and
Like-
became adults. And then once you became
Is that like a field gun test where they have
No,
to like
it's-
shoot 20
it's
bullets
like a
through
psych-
a target at 40
no,
yards?
no.
or
It's like
something?
a psychological test. It's every kind of test. It's like a driver's license. In order to drive, you have to get a driver's license. And what do you have to do? You have to pass a test, show you can drive.
So like a reproducing license.
A reproducing license. If you want to have kids, you got to pass a certain test. No, you can take. I mean, there's a story up there we may not get to, but
So could you still play with yourself?
no.
Because a lot of these incidents
Yes.
are even
Well,
not
no. You would have
breeding.
your sex drive would be zero.
Okay.
And once you got this,
What motivation? Why would people even want to
well,
take the test?
Well, you would learn about it. I mean, why do you want to drive? You never drive until the first time you
well,
drive, right? Like you don't. You're only
it's not
based on
like-
what you think it is.
But
Some
it's
people
not,
hate.
But it's not like you didn't have a desire to drive before you had a driver's license. You had an overwhelming desire to drive.
Yeah, well, you would have an overwhelm to have sex without the
You
sex
just
drive.
said that there.
No, you would get it at a certain age, just like a driver's license. It's the same thing.
Okay, so there is a sex drive.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can't access it until you pass these tests. Now that's not reality.
Right.
And unfortunately, there's people that are evil in the world, and that's just the way it's going to be. Women have got to learn to, and a lot of these women, you got to learn to stand up for yourself.
Oh, so it's the woman's fault. then.
No, it's not. But
as women, you have to learn. So it means it's their problem.
well,
Women,
if they want to look at
you
that,
have to learn.
But you have to learn to.
I think he means any victim. You have to learn to stand.
Yeah,
up for
victim.
I mean,
yourself.
that goes without
man or woman. I mean, the majority of these are women we're looking at today,
And
but
Ted
there are
Cruz.
men. Terry Crews.
But what I just want to say this too. We're looking at a movement
Yeah.
which could possibly entail us looking at this 20 years in the future like a civil rights movement.
No, for sure. Yeah.
Because like in the past, men could they could do these sexual assaults and
And
they
get
would
a-
never
yeah.
they would never have like Donald Trump, our president, is on tape admitting sexual assault and yet he's still become president. That would be like if a president said something racist before an election today,
Yeah.
Like I think this is going to be the start of something much greater.
Well,
that
I hope it
20
is.
years from now, it's not even going to be an issue. Like if you perpetrate sexual assault, you are what you are, and you're
Right.
ostracized from society
Forever. You don't think someone can be changed? You don't think their ways can be moved if they have these?
Well, yeah, I mean,
thoughts or
even as a
actions?
racist, you can be a reformed
Okay,
racist,
but it's
right?
really
Like
hard,
American
right?
History X or something. You
Yeah,
can get,
sure.
You can go to prison and meet other.
And your brother has to get killed by a black guy, and then
Right.
you'll see the spoiler alert. You'll see how the world really is. So, and you meet a
No,
black.
he befriends a black guy.
you
in
meet a
prison.
black guy in prison. He saves your ass, and then you're not a racist
and
anymore.
then you come out and you still have these urges, and it's like, oh, I'm still a sexual assaulter.
He didn't really have any urges for the rest of the film, but anyway.
And that movie had a very dark ending.
Yeah, no, his brother
Yeah.
got murdered by a black guy. So sorry if you didn't see the movie American History X, which came out 15, 20 years ago. But if you haven't, go see it. It's really good. Okay, well,
All right, I took notes during all this, and I'm sure our legal team is going to have a field day.
they're not women, so we'll be
Okay.
fine. All right, so anyway, hey, Lee, hire a woman if you want her on our legal team, okay?
Okay, well, I just wanted to bring up another story that kind of has a segue.
What,
into
Bryan
this.
Singer?
This is probably fake news, but I
Oh,
read this
okay.
and I thought it
There
was
we go.
freaking hilarious.
There
so
we go.
The headline reads
Tell the name of where you got this
the
from.
Irish Post,
Mhm.
the Irish Post Co. UK. Irish villagers complain Viagra plants fumes have men and dogs walking around with hard-ons.
This is ridiculous.
So the story is basically there's a Viagra plant, and they say that it has like a rare air to it, or I guess if you're Irish, and that all the men are like sexually potent just because of the
It's a bunch
factory.
of Irish guys walking around sporting their blarney poles.
Yeah, they say even the dogs are like
Is this true?
humping
I mean, is this
everything.
fake news? What is this?
I don't.
So allegedly, there's these plants that are giving men erections and dog erections.
Well, the plant they interviewed the plant, and the plant was like, "No, we're fully regulated." But the residents believe that before
the
regulation,
plant. Okay, I thought you were making a joke right there. You mean the manufacturing
yeah, it's
plant?
like a industrial.
I thought he talked.
I thought you were talking about
and the leaves said,
I thought you were talking about
this
that
is like
tree.
an industrial pharmaceutical production facility.
I'm the tree.
"Here's a good way to test it: grab some Viagra, set it on fire, put in a room with some dudes, and see if they come out sporting." All right,
Barmaid Debbie O'Grady told the Sunday Times.
this is fake. that's worse than Nick Nickel.
Wait,
I mean, come on,
wait for
Debbie O'Grady.
Wait for it. One whiff and you're stiff. God dang. One whiff and you're stiff.
You got to say it in an Irish accent.
John, go out. John's probably got an Irish accent he can bust out. You got to read the whole sentence because it's amazing.
What's the whole
It
sentence?
says,
It gets
one whiff
better.
and you're stiff. We've been getting the love fumes for years now for free.
One whiff and you're stiff.
One whip and you're stiff. We've been getting the love fumes for years now for free.
For free.
Said something is in the air. So, well,
What did the widower say?
the widower added, I'm a flirtatious woman. A lot of us are. You just have to have a spark. That's all. There's a lovely
They got
man.
that spark now.
There's a lovely man waiting down the road for me. Pfizer said in a statement that the stiff whiff was nothing more than an amusing myth, but there were no hard feelings. Yeah,
No hard feelings.
this is obviously complete bullshit, dude. I mean, there's no way this is a true story.
Nevertheless, residents remain scared stiff. I can't
One-
even say it.
One whiff of your stiff is amazing. That should be that's got to be in the title or something of this episode.
That's like acts for women. That's going to be the.
I don't know, man. I just thought
This
that's
is
the fun-
fake news, man.
But what if that
Come
were
on.
true? Like, what if, would this be a positive, industrial?
I think somebody's
side
reading this
effect?
and I got your Irish Post.
Would this be a positive experience?
Like-
Are you
like-
joking right now? This would increase sexual assaults by an immense amount, right? If
That's it. I don't know. Have you ever taken Viagra? That's a yes. You have to tell us the
You-
Viagra story.
When you respond with to a question like that, the
Wow.
answer is yes.
Okay, so here's what I'll say about that. My doctor likes to give out medication.
What's the name of your doctor? Let me get a pen and paper.
Wait a second.
It's true story. It's true story.
What else does he love to give out?
So he gave me. I was on midnight shift, and I was not sleeping much.
So he gave you something to keep you up?
Apparently. So I was on midnight shift, and I was not sleeping well.
He's on the midnight stiff.
And I was not in the mood because I wasn't sleeping well. So he gave me some Ambien to sleep. He gave me a couple of Viagra pills, and he gave me some kind of Lexapro because he thought I was having some. He thought I was depressed because of my work situation.
serious?
Yeah, I'm dead serious.
This is the best / worst doctor ever.
I took now here's what I'm going to tell you about the pills. I took all of them.
At the same time?
No, not at the same time.
Just all of them? 3 Viagra,
The
2
Ambien,
Ambien?
the Ambien never did any.
That's a lie.
No,
I remember you taking Ambien and saying you were all messed up on it.
One time, no, Chris, a buddy, Chris X, we'll say him. He gave me some Ambien one
Chris
time.
Irish.
Years before
That's
this.
closer to his real name.
A buddy gave me an Ambien. He said, take them, try to stay awake, and it gets you high. I mean, it didn't really do anything. The Ambien hit me one time. I took a month's supply because I honestly couldn't get sleep. John works midnights. He knows it's tough. And one time it hit me. But other than that, I would stay awake for 4 hours at a time. I took,
4 hours
I
at
did,
a time?
I
That
honestly,
doesn't seem
I'm
very
just
long.
being honest with everything. I took the Viagra. It did nothing. So I don't know.
Really?
I don't. Maybe you're supposed to.
Maybe you're supposed to smoke it.
There you go. I know that's my problem. I don't know.
Let me get one of those and Alexa with a little V.
Are you supposed to have? I talked to one guy I worked with. He said he took it and it was very interesting, is what he said. But honestly, to me, it didn't do it. None of the pills he gave me did anything. So I don't know, man.
Maybe that's why he was handing them out. Maybe he was really big into
Placebo.
placebos.
There you go. Maybe they were just.
Did they taste
Did
like
he
sugar
wink? Yeah, did
pills?
he wink at you a lot?
He liked to hand out pills. Okay, that's what I'll say. So that's my story. There we
So,
go.
for anyone that was just wondering, his name is Dr. Sugar Bear.
Yeah, he's outside our studio if you want to get some pills from
Dr.
him.
McStiffy.
So I did take 2 Viagra and they never did anything for me.
All right,
So
there you go.
but
John,
I never,
Any Viagra story?
Never taken that Viagra.
and it's embarrassing to. I don't know how guys take it all the time and just take it, because number one, you have to take it before. It's not like Cialis. I talked to somebody at work. They take Cialis, but they take it for their prostate, because apparently it's also they have a history of prostate problems in their family, like cancer and stuff, and it's supposed to do something to your prostate. I don't know. I don't know, but He said that's what it was being used for, but most people think Cialis is like, the boner pill or whatever, episode 69.
Well, that's how they market it. That's what they marketed as.
Yeah, but it's actually for other things. I don't know if Viagra, I don't know what it's for. But
so a lot of erectile dysfunction is caused by problems with the prostate, probably.
But I guess, and apparently, in the market, if you listen to radio, erectile dysfunction is like a massive market right now. Low T's like the big thing on the radio. If you listen to radio, go to the Low T Center, find out what your testosterone is. So I don't know if I don't know. There's obviously something going on. Have men always been dealing with this, or are they just starting to deal with it now? I don't know. So that's it. That's the story there.
Great story.
I did not interact like the Irish. It was not one whiff and you're stiff. I didn't have that.
Didn't find any widowers walking down the street.
Couldn't find any widowers in the neighborhood. So there we go. All
What
right.
else do we got here? We got
Bryan Singer.
You wanted to talk about this. I don't think anyone knows about it, but you.
So Bryan Singer, real quick, is a director. He directed some of the X-Men films. And he is right now currently filming the Queen. Well, he was. He's directing the Queen Biopic, which has the guy from Mr. Robot in it, is Freddie Mercury. And he looks really good from the pictures I've seen. But he's been fired from the set, which is kind of crazy. It's almost as crazy as Kevin Spacey filmed an entire movie. Do you know about this? It's coming out December 8th. They took him out of the movie completely, reshot his scenes with Christopher Plummer, the actor, and it's coming out. It's coming out next week. They shot like all these scenes in like 2 weeks or something, reshoots for everything. So if you see this movie, I forget what it's called, For the Love of Money, I think it's called. That was Kevin Spacey. But anyway, so Bryan Singer's out. I don't know who's going to get him here, but this is another guy.
What was the on-set chaos?
Him and the guy were fighting quite a bit, but the bigger singer is Bryan Singer has been accused of rape like multiple times.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Dude, yeah. And this has been going on for years. And
how do people get away with this?
And I think he's gay. I'm pretty sure.
But how do you get accused of rape multiple times? Like, how does that happen?
There's not enough evidence and nobody prosecutes is the only thing I can think of. I don't know. So I just thought that's more of this Me Too movement kind of pushing forward. So.
Okay. I didn't realize the connection there. I did want to, speaking about getting fired.
Fire. Chelsea Handler calls Huckabee Sanders a harlot with summer whore lipstick all over her face. Liberal comedian, this is from Breitbart.com, so take it for what it is. Liberal comedian Chelsea Handler attacked Sarah Huckabee Sanders' appearance on her weekly Netflix show, calling the White House press secretary a harlot who wears summer whore lipstick.
Can I be honest with you?
Sure, go ahead.
I thought this story was about Sarah Huckabee calling Hillary Clinton a whore.
No.
But now that I know who it actually is involved in, I don't really care.
I come back to this. I can't believe Sarah Huckabee Sanders is attacked by women as much as she is for a foundation of women that say they're all going to stand together.
Yeah, but come on, man. She spews lines from the mouth of Donald
Trump. It's her job.
Though.
Every press secretary in the history of the world has lied to the public.
But it's Donald. Donald Trump is gonna go down in history as one of the most evil people in.
I don't know if that's.
Well, here's the deal: that
the
Chelsea Handler should be like, "Oh, she's a liar. Don't call her
calling her
a harlot with summer whore lipstick."
Yeah, you're calling her a whore, man.
I told you I liked the story better when I thought it was
okay. All right,
the other way around.
All right, well, let's get John's got to give out some advice this week, so let's go ahead and jump ahead to one of the favorite segments, Dear John. All right, so Lee's got a email from a listener. He's going to read it, and John's going to give out some classic advice here.
I think Stephen King wrote in this week because it's quite a novel.
Oh my God!
Of an email, but evidently
does it mean it ends poorly?
Read that in the chat. I like the new setup. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
there you go.
Thank you, Sammy.
Okay, my husband and I argue more than I'd like. I'm pretty easygoing and passive. He likes his feelings to be known. Over time, I have become worn down, and my patience has worn thin. We're starting to rebound from what I call the year from hell. His drinking and poor choices nearly put us on the street, and I was ready to walk. Things are starting to get better, but what we can't seem to agree on is communication during the day. John, I am on the phone for a living. I cannot stand being on it more than I must be. He calls and or texts me up to 12 times a day. I can't stand it. Even when I'm busy or give him a time certain when I will call him back, he beeps in before I have the chance. I am now at the end of my rope. With all that I have dealt with, worked through, and put up with, this is something I will not compromise on. I feel it's more than sufficient to talk on my way into work, maybe check in around lunch, then on the way home. He feels that because I don't feel the need to call or talk to him that much that I don't love him. I can't stand listening to the dead air or breathing because there's nothing to talk about. Am I being petty for letting this be the thing that will break us? Talks too much in Texas.
I'm torn on this one, mainly because, okay, you've been with this guy. He's had severe drinking habits, and he almost put you on the street, but him calling you is what's going to break it. Does anybody else have an issue with it? I don't know.
What about the part where I can't stand listening to dead air or breathing?
That's kind of like this podcast sometimes. Yeah. But anyways.
All we have to do is just crunch up some Viagra and burn it, and we'll take care of that. So, but anyway, I mean, it sounds like he needs a hobby. Just get this guy a job where he's working the same shift you are, and that'll take care of that. But I mean,
so does he have a job, or does it say?
It doesn't say.
It doesn't say. So he basically, so to sum it up, so he calls her. Forget all the other stuff. Apparently, that's water under the bridge. The drugs, the alcohol, whatever he was doing. Her biggest problem with this guy is that he calls her, or he wants her to call him multiple times a day, but when she calls him, he has nothing to say on the telephone.
Well, also, she doesn't want to talk on the phone because that's what she does for a living.
Right.
Also, he's a mouth breather.
Okay. Well, that's okay. There we go. I just want to sum it up for everybody. Okay, John. So what advice would you give this woman?
I mean, I would
Give us the truth, John. We just want the truth.
She needs to get him a hobby or something. Just get him interested in something that he can only do during those hours where she's at work, so she can kind of get away from that. But I mean, the best part of a relationship is the communication. So I mean, you don't want to. That's what it should be, at least.
It doesn't sound like he has much to say, though.
I know. I mean,
honestly, what this sounds like is like jealousy almost. You know what I'm saying?
It does sound like he's a little jealous.
Like, why else would you want to call someone that often? And like you say, the best part is communication in a marriage.
That's what it should be.
I think the best part is when you're not communicating.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
But what I'm saying is like, okay, let me put it like this: how often do you call your wife during the day? Or what I'm saying? Like, obviously you work weird hours.
She checks in with me if she's having issues with the baby at night.
Yeah, but what if she's not?
Or she'll check in with me right before she goes to bed usually.
Right, but it's not in the morning, at lunch, in the afternoon.
No.
David, how often?
So my wife will call me in the morning about 8 o'clock when she's leaving for work, and we talk for a little bit about the morning and what's going on the day, and then she'll generally call me on the way home around 5 o'clock. So that's about it, twice a day. Sometimes you're kind of busy. Like, I'll be at work. Sometimes I'm busy and I can't talk too much, and sometimes we got stuff to discuss. So I don't have a problem with the calls. I expect them. Like, if I don't get them, sometimes I'll text her and be like, "Hey, what's up?" or something like that. So I think that's good. But I've worked with people who their wife or husband would call like 4 or 5 times a day, and it's like, man, that's too much. You got to let communication is great, but you got to let your partner have something to do as well. Yeah. They have a job to do. They have friends that they work with or friends outside. This guy is controlling as can be. I mean, he's obviously got some serious issues going, and she should have probably left him before now, but hey, that's between them, whatever they want to do. Yeah. But I'm not saying this is dumb to break up with him, because I think it's something more serious. There's a more serious matter.
That's why I started off.
But I'm saying to tell the man to get a hobby. I think he's got a hobby. John is calling his wife about 5 or 6 times a day and mouth breathing. I just don't think this is going to get any better.
I mean, John, is that your advice? Get the man a hobby?
Yeah, that's what he said. Yes.
If she's intending to stay with him, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You got to drop this bum.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Well, she should have dropped him a long time ago.
No, that's fine. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe they weren't in the place, but now they've had that healing period, and the second time, it's right now. It's right.
Dump him. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's not going to get any better. I mean, because you should tell him this on the phone. Just I don't feel comfortable talking to you 14 times a day or whatever it is, but he's going to get offended by that, and I think he's covering up some things in his past. I mean, just based on I don't know, man.
Well, the people
maybe, yeah,
the people that can't be trusted are the ones that have the hardest time trusting other people.
That's true. As Ben Folds says, if you can't trust, you can't be trusted. So I don't know. So anyways, but John says, get a hobby. All right. Sammy says better have an order of protection ready on file. Because this guy,
just like walk around with a
Do that
blank one
first.
Or whatever.
I don't know that this guy's going to leave you alone anyways, if you tell him, but good luck in your marriage. Marriage is, it's tough. We get a lot of these things about marriage, and a lot of time communication is the key, but sometimes communicating can be hard over time.
I think if we had a list of people who write in and stuff, I think marriage is
It's up,
Up
there.
there.
Or relationships, yeah, you know. Sometimes, you know, you do lose that communication in a relationship, and it's sometimes hard to get it back because you, especially people that have been married a long time like this, you know the person that you married, and sometimes you don't recognize the person you're with. They're not always the same person. You grow as a person.
Yeah.
You change. You see the world a little bit different. Sometimes I think people are stuck into who they fell in love with, and they don't adapt to change. So, good luck. Good luck, people. All right. So, do we have any selfies this week? Or
I don't think
we're
so.
short on the selfies.
Yeah,
All right.
there's like
Well,
two,
I mean, come on, guys. You're gonna have
something
to.
like that.
Well, we haven't done it in a few
Yeah,
weeks.
we've given up on the
so
selfie, man. That's what
The
you're
selfie is done. Are we?
I mean,
we're killing it.
I think we keep sending them in if you wanted to take
I mean,
them.
we'll retweet them.
No, here's
on.
the thing. We need to like just pick like maybe 1 week where we push the selfie really hard. You know, we get everyone to do it. And we have like a
So,
listener
You're
appreciation
saying
moment.
Episode 69 is not the time to push
That's
things
not
hard.
the selfie.
Episode 69 is not.
All right.
Maybe
well,
like 72.
before we jump to Major Key, I do want to give a big shout out to Fake Ass Radio. Had their 100th episode this week.
Oh, wow.
So that's awesome. And anytime you get to 100, you've done something right. That's a really good podcast I enjoy. I mean, it's kind of like this, but, you know, it's two guys talking about the news and things, and they're funny. That they talk about it in a very funny way like we do, and then they play music from up-and-coming artists or artists they like. So if you're looking for a podcast to check out, I think you like this one, you should check it out. So congratulations, Scab D and Gene Techman, for getting to episode 100. That's a podcast I really
Give us the
enjoy.
name again?
Fake Ass Radio Show. And like I say, it's just really, it's done. It's, you know, any podcast that takes himself too seriously, I'm out. So this was one that, you know, like, kind of like us, just kind of has fun with it, and they never take themselves too seriously, and that's something. So go check those guys out. I mean, there's a lot of great podcasts, and we like to give shout outs to people, you know. So I want to really feature that this week since they got to episode 100. So they were based out of Detroit, and then Scav, the main host, moved to Seattle. And so they didn't have the show for a while, but now they're doing it on Skype. One's in Seattle, one's still in Detroit. So there you go. Keep on going, guys. Get to 200, man. We'll be trying to catch up with you this whole time. So, all right. Well, I guess it's come to that point where we need to give out some. Oh, we don't have Idiot of the Week, do we? Anybody kind of stand out this week? I mean, we didn't get to one story real quick that Sammy requested that we get to. So it says here, young people say calling them a snowflake damages their mental health. Lee, is that true or not?
Yeah.
Does that hurt your feelings?
The word snowflake doesn't actually mean anything. It's the emotional intent behind the words. Like, honestly, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, when people use the word snowflake in a derogatory,
of course,
that's going to hurt someone's feelings, of course, right?
It hurts feelings, yeah. That's why they're calling them snowflakes.
Because they're purposely trying to hurt people's feelings.
Yeah, but sticks and stones, man. They're just words.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, most people that call people snowflakes are either doing it because it's been popularized in culture, or that they're the kind of people that just like to see people suffer. I mean, they get say it about anything.
Or maybe we're just calling out people who are too sensitive and they need to thicken up a little bit. Episode 69.
They should go visit that town in Ireland.
Yeah, man. And get stiff with the whiff. Whiff with the stiff, whatever it is.
Thicken up, huh?
Yeah, thicken up. Episode 69. All right. So do we have a major key this week we want to jump into? Every week we try to give out life advice in the major keys segment.
So let me give you a major key. Where is the key?
That is not the key. I want the key.
Give us the keys. So let me give you a major key.
And you really do have the key.
Everybody stand up right now. Everybody. I got the keys now.
All right. What will be the major key for episode 69? Robin says, one whiff and you're stiff.
I mean, that's got to be it.
That's got to be it.
Is that it?
Yeah,
All right.
that's
Well,
it.
that was easy enough, Robin. We appreciate
you.
that. So the major key of the week for episode 69, one whiff, and you're stiff.
Everybody. I got the keys now.
All right. There you go.
I think we did have an idiot of the week too.
Did we?
Yeah, didn't
Would
we? The do not resuscitate guy.
I mean, I don't know if he's an idiot. I mean, he's dead now. I don't want to come around calling dead people idiots.
Did he not resuscitate himself?
The guy put on a tattoo that says "Do not resuscitate," and the
Was it a neck tattoo by any
It looks
chance?
like it's
It
very
looks
close
like
to
it
the neck,
is.
and you know what I think about that. But said doctors in Miami were faced with an ethical conundrum after a man was admitted to the hospital unconscious with a tattoo on his chest reading "Do not resuscitate," and guess what? He did not get resuscitated. So
the doctor says, I really wanted to talk to him and see whether the tattoo truly reflected what he wanted for his end of life wishes. I'm sorry, like it could have been something minor. Like they could have saved his life, but because of this tattoo.
well, if you don't want to be saved, man, I mean,
But like I understand, like I think the point is
I
like
think
if you're a
you're a
vegetable,
vegetable, yeah.
well, what you're supposed to do is at the bottom of this article they talk about, and this is something you think about in your life. Like I would prefer not to be resuscitated if I'm in a coma for a couple of
right,
days,
put
but
it in a legal document.
you're supposed to do a legal document. In Florida, it's supposed to be a yellow piece of paper that you've signed that says, I do not wish to be resuscitated. But in this instance, they didn't resuscitate him, so the neck tattoo wins.
He gone.
My God, I am surrounded by idiots.
Lee just called Idiot of the Week a dead man. Okay.
I don't think it's the first time that we call a dead person an idiot.
Well, that's because you're an idiot.
All right. DNR man with the close to the neck tattoo. You couldn't even commit to a neck tattoo. That's what's even worse. Get on your chest. But God rest your soul, Idiot of the Week. We apologize for that. All right, guys, we've come up to the end of another episode. Sammy says neck tattoo 1, David 0. I would say the opposite of that. But anyway.
Actually, I mean, I think Dave was like 10 up on the
Yeah,
neck
I'm like
tattoos
10
at
up on
this
neck
point.
tattoos. Come on, man. So, yeah, guys, we appreciate you coming and hanging out on the show. Hopefully you enjoyed it. What you can do if you enjoy these episodes, you need to go to bybpod.com. It stands for Blame Your Brother Podcast, bybpod.com there. Our website has all of our past episodes on it. It's also got links. So if you want to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all those social media formats, that's where you need to go. Click on the link, follow us, engage with us. We love hearing from you guys. It's fun, to get interaction with you, you're listening and all that. And Pizza Dad Lives was back this week with his weekly recaps, which is always a big thumbs up. And I'm always like surprised when he does it, 'cause I'm like, that's a lot of work really to listen to like an episode and recap the whole thing and all that. So we appreciate those. So go check those out. But go follow us on social media. There's all the ways to subscribe to the podcast. We ask that you do that. It just lets us know you're listening, and the numbers have been going up lately, so we really appreciate that. Like I said, come hang out with us every Thursday as we record the show. We potentially have a Tennessee Titans cheerleader that might be coming on the show in the next couple of weeks, and so we may have to move that day to Wednesday due to her schedule, but we'll keep you up to date on that. We'll see how it goes. As one person said, my favorite comment this week was, this is my favorite comedy podcast, and now I see that you have attractive guests and listeners based on Naja Sherman, Elizabeth Donaldson, all of our Blame Your Selfies. So we're moving up in the world. A lot of people think this is their favorite comedy podcast, which blows my mind.
Thanks, Mom.
It's not. It's a guy. And
we know it's not your dad.
It's not my dad. He might have been. He might have been that do not resuscitate guy. For all I know, there was no picture there. Yeah. So yeah, do that, and then it's holiday season. What we ask you to do if you're buying all your stuff on Amazon, which we know a lot of you are doing. There's an Amazon link on our website. We ask that you just click on that link. It takes you straight to Amazon. No funny business. What it is we get everything you buy, we get a percentage. It's like a small percentage, but the more stuff you buy, the more money we get. So that helps pay for hosting and equipment and all that good stuff. So, and you guys have been doing great, but just make sure if you buy anything through Amazon, click on that link, help us out. You can still buy
your pill guy's not cheap either.
I know, right? Buy those
His doctor.
Buy those Viagra through Amazon, and we get a kickback on it. So
wait, it's Groupon, isn't it?
Groupon. Does Groupon have Viagra, John? Have you seen that on there?
I have not seen Viagra.
You need to order it and let us know what the side effects are there. John would buy Viagra on
One
Groupon.
whiff and you're stiff.
Why aren't you buying your your CPAP machine on Groupon. Have you checked to see if that's on there?
I haven't seen, but I think it'd be cheaper if I just go through my insurance.
I don't know. You may want to look.
You could get like a used unit, like a stolen loaner or something. You know?
Stolen loaner.
Hey, big shout out to the guys from Radio Vegas Rocks. They stream us every Thursday. We are streamed in Las Vegas on the FM airwaves, and we really appreciate that. They're going strong. Go check those guys out. We recorded some holiday stingers for them, so if you listen, you'll hear some of those. They were something else. And
did you say stingers or stinkers?
Stinkers and stingers for the show. And just go check out the website. All the past episodes, you will hours of entertainment on there. And tell your friends about the show. Share it when it comes out. Like it. Do all that good stuff. So I think that's it. Lee, John, anything else?
Don't blame yourself when you can blame your brother.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.